My name is Sherry Sutton. I am your marketing mentor and the founder of the DD Marketing Collective. Super excited to be here with you today. So I want to share what is a little bit of an embarrassing story, but it is a cautionary tale for all of you who are putting a lot of your marketing eggs into the social media basket. So this story is about 10 years old now. Before, kind of in social media, we really understood that the algorithms change a lot, right? And social media changes a lot, and we need to be able to be super adaptable. This story is probably 9 years old, something like that. So I was in the corporate world for a long time and doing marketing. When my son was young, I decided to start a wedding photography business because it allowed me to work on the weekends so I could be home and have a little bit more of a flexible schedule with my little guy. And so I had this amazing wedding photography business. I loved it. I still do photography every now and then. It was super, super fun. So one of the biggest ways that I got leads was from Facebook. So here's what I did. I had a Facebook business page. And I know all you guys have Facebook business pages and are really bummed about the fact that they don't do much for you. Well, there was a day, 8-9 years ago where they did do a lot for you, right? It was very easy to get seen on people's feeds, especially when, as a photographer, I would post pictures from the wedding and then I would tag people in the picture, right? So then they would be able to see themselves in the picture. They would, they would then share with their friends, they would share with their friends. And next thing you know, I've got this huge business all based on referrals that I got from my Facebook business page. It was awesome. I didn't need to be friends with the people. So what I ended up doing was I would get a list from generally from the bride or from the groom of all of the people who were in the wedding party. So I could just find them on Facebook and tag them. And I didn't have to be personal, friends with them on Facebook. So this was going on for, I would say, a good solid year, right? And so it was a huge part of my strategy. I'm going to get to that in a minute. It was not my only strategy, but it was a huge part of my strategy. And then one day I went to post a picture on my business page. I went to tag people, boom, gone. The feature is gone. Facebook had updated their algorithm to no longer allow business pages to tag individuals. And overnight, the strategy that had gotten me so much business was gone. Luckily, I found ways to adapt, and also luckily, I had a lot of other things that I was doing in my marketing. So I want to make this a cautionary tale for you guys, which is you never know what's going to happen on social media. You don't own it. You don't own your content once you put it out there. I mean, you always have access to it, but you don't know if it could disappear. I don't know if you guys remember a year or so ago, Instagram and Facebook went down for like half a day and people were freaking out because they were like, this is the only way I can market my business. You want to make sure that social media isn't the only place that you are relying on on marketing your business, because you never know when it's going to change. I can tell you that. Luckily, I know enough about marketing. I was able to scramble, and I'm going to go through this in just a second. I had a lot of other things I was doing from a marketing perspective, but I can tell you that it hurt, right? It really, really made a big impact on my business. And if that had been the only thing I was doing, I would have been screwed. So don't do, I beg you, please don't have social media be the only thing that you're doing. It's amazing. It's a great way to get in front of people, but you never know how the algorithm's going to change. So 2 things. 1, don't have social media be the only place where you're marketing your business. And we're going to talk about that again a little bit more in a second. The second thing is you want to stay on top of all of the trends that are happening in social media so that you don't get kind of caught, with like, oh my God, wait, when did this happen, right? It's a lot to keep up with. I'm working on a program right now. It's called the Joyful Marketing Collective. I'm actually going through it with a group right now, but I'm going to enhance it for the next group, which is going to start during the summer. And we're actually going to share with you on an ongoing basis, probably through a Facebook business or Facebook group exactly what's happening in social media so that you don't get caught off guard, because you don't want to read all the newsletters and all the stuff and be super on top of social media. I could be the person who can give you those updates, but try to stay on top of what's going on in social media, especially if it is a big part of your business strategy. And I can tell you in this business as well, it is a big part of my strategy, but it's not the only part. So going back to my photography business, I had lots of different things that I was doing. And that's something that I learned doing marketing in the corporate world for 25 plus years, is you never want to do just one type of activity, because some people like that one activity and some people don't, right? So you want to find as many people as possible in all the different places where they hang out. And generally people don't only do read their emails, or they don't just do social media. So you want to make sure that you are in front of your target audience in lots of different places, because your chances of seeing them will increase. Also, God forbid something happens with one of those things, you are ready. We saw this happen during the pandemic as well. People who got all of their business through in-person networking or in-person events, they were really in trouble, right? Because that went away overnight. We had no idea that would happen. I had no idea that Facebook would change their algorithm overnight, and the whole way that I was creating my business strategy would be moved. So we want to have an integrated communications plan that has lots of different components to it. So if one thing changes in the world or on social media, we are able to adapt, and we've got other leads coming in from other marketing places. So if you don't know how to do this, this is something that we can talk about together. This is what I do all day long as I meet with solopreneurs, and we talk about solopreneurs and small businesses, but we talk about what's the best way to get their business out there in an integrated way in lots of places, but still do it with ease, right? Without feeling super stressed out about it, without spending a ton of money and a ton of time. So if you need this kind of plan, head over to my website. It's didi.marketing, DIDI.marketing, and you can click on one-on-one coaching. So I'm going to give you a sense of some of the other types of things that you can do in marketing that's not just social media. And I've done a lot of trainings on this. You can check them out wherever you're watching this now. YouTube's a great place to go to just find all of my old videos, but I post this in all of my social channels. So I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, LinkedIn, as well as YouTube right now. So you can find these videos elsewhere, but there's lots of other things that you can do to market your business. So I'm going to go back to my wedding photography example, just so that we can kind of use that as something, just as a reference. So I mentioned that I was doing a lot of social media, my business page, I was tagging people, they were sharing it with their friends. It was great. I was getting all these leads. And then overnight, I wasn't able to do that. So I did change my social media strategy so that I continued on social media, but it took a shift in what I was doing. So I kind of, did some research, figured out what was going on with the algorithm. I had to personally friend people before I could tag them. And then even later, they actually made that feature not available. So what I ended up doing, sort of the next stage of that, was I ended up starting posting things on my personal page, becoming personal friends with people at the wedding on Facebook, so then I could tag them through my personal feed. So that was one of the lessons for me on social media, that you really want to integrate both personal and business, because Meta, who owns Instagram and Facebook, and we love you, Meta, because I know you're listening to me right now, they want to make money, right? It's a for-profit business. So they don't want you to be able to market your business for free. So they take away those types of features like Facebook business pages, those types of things, which I get. They want to make money on advertising. I'm not knocking that. But it means that we have to be very careful when we're doing business on those platforms to make sure we're on top of what's happening and we're able to adjust really, really quickly. So I did update my social media strategy because I'm a big believer in social media, but I had other things that I was doing. So here's the other types of things that I was doing. I was going to a lot of bridal shows, which are a great place to meet new brides. I made sure that when I was there, I stuck out like potentially a sore thumb, right? I wore really fun clothes. I made sure that I had really great images out there. I had really great giveaways, just as a way to make sure that I really stood out. Then when I met new brides there at those events, sometimes even if I hadn't met them, they would give me a list of everyone at the event. I would send all of those brides one of my brochures in the mail, along with a handwritten note saying how much I would love to work with them for their wedding. So that's something else that I did, was both events, in-person events, which we had a lot of then, and also direct mail. So I followed up with all of those people with a piece of mail in their mailbox. I also, I went back and forth. I kind of played with texting people. So I tried not to text too many times, but I did text people as well, especially if I did meet them at a trade show. So I did some texting. I also did emailing, where I followed up with them on email, and tried to not be too spammy, right? I would, send them a text, send them an email, send them the direct mail over a couple weeks. And, if they wrote back, that was great. Sometimes I'd followed up multiple times. The big thing with marketing is there's never one rule of thumb, because every audience is different. So every marketing plan needs to be different, right? I'm going to say that again because it's important. Every business is different. Every target audience is different. So every marketing plan needs to be different. And that means that sometimes you have to experiment within your marketing to see what works best for you. And then the world changes, then you have to keep updating it again. And that might seem frustrating, but it's also an opportunity for you to kind of go with the flow, learn new skills. And it's one of the reasons why you come to somebody like me, because I can help you navigate through that. So I did events, I did direct mail, I did texting, I did emailing. I also had a really big networking / referral program. So in the wedding industry, people will initially get their venue, and then everything else kind of comes out of their venue, right? Because they need to know the date, they need to know kind of the vibe of their wedding, and a lot of that's set by the venue. So quite frequently, when the couple is at the venue, they will ask, hey, do you have any vendors that you recommend? So if you can get on that list that the event places recommend, you are golden, because often these couples are already super overwhelmed by everything that they have to do. And if they get a list of preferred vendors from their venue, they generally go with those. So I spent a lot of time meeting with venues, saying hello. I did a lot of what was called styled shoots, where we'd make like a fake wedding and we'd do it at an event. We'd have a florist and we'd have a hair and makeup artist. And it was an opportunity for all of us to market ourselves. And I did that with a lot of different venues, which gave the venue free photos that they could use to market their business. I would then make an actual printed version of the picture, usually depending on how much room they had, right? Like a big canvas, or I'd even make multiple canvases for them. I had one place where I did a whole wall for them of, images that I took. And of course they had my logo at the bottom, right? But that was one way where I was able to build really strong relationships with those event venues, so that I could be on the list of people that they refer. And that became also a huge lead source for me. So because I had so many different things that I was doing that weren't just social media. So yes, there was social media. There were also events. There was direct mail. There was email. There was getting on to lists. I actually also did advertising in magazines like The Knot and Wedding Wire. So I really had a very integrated communications plan. So when one of those things went away, I had other things that were driving leads into my business. So I wasn't impacted that much. I mean, they hurt when they go away, but like in that example, let's say the pandemic had hit during that. Now, the weddings probably wouldn't have been happening. So that may not work. This example may not work itself all the way through, but let's just say for some reason, all of the bridal shows were canceled, but the weddings were still going to happen. I still had other things that I was doing to meet new brides, right? And so that would have been okay. Wouldn't have been great. I wouldn't have liked it, but it would have been okay. So what I want you to leave this presentation with today is make sure that you have an integrated communications plan that has lots of different components to it. Now, you can do that in a way that's easy, right? We can pick 2 or 3 things that you do, on an ongoing basis to make sure that we have a variety of leads that are coming into your funnel, right? That are coming into your business, and that we're doing a variety of different things to nurture those leads to drive them to a sale. And again, if this all sounds like I have no idea how to do any of this, like that sounds great, but I have no idea how to do any of this, give me a holler. My Marketing Made Simple program is perfect for you. It's designed for somebody who's like, I know I need to do more marketing. I'm not sure what, and I'm scared that I'm doing everything on social media and that might go away. How do I, social proof my business? And so the Marketing Made Simple program, we go through an entire day where we do your really, really in-depth marketing plan. And then we meet every other week for 3 more months. And I hold your hand through the entire process. So if you're interested in that program, again, head over to my website. It's dd.marketing, DIDI.marketing. There's no .com. It's just dd.marketing. And you can click on one-on-one mentorship. Or if you have any other questions, give me a holler. There's a place there where you can set up a free 20-minute marketing audit with me. I'll look at all your stuff and give you a couple tips that you can implement right away. So I hope this was helpful. I go live twice a week. Every Tuesday, I have a live Q&A at noon Eastern Standard Time, and I answer your questions. And one of the fun things is if you send me a question and I answer it during that live, I will send you one of these cool DD Marketing Collective mugs, and there's a whole bunch of fun stickers that you can put on it to decorate yours. I haven't art decorated mine yet. So you can direct message me those questions or email them to me at sherry@dd.marketing. That's DIDI. Or I also go live at this time every day. So at noon on Wednesdays, every single week, I do a little training like this on whatever sort of the trend is that's happening, things that I get lots of questions about, things that I think will be of most value to you as a small business owner or solopreneur. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you next week. Thanks so much. Bye.